guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel Read with Kim, and today I am really excited because I can start feeling the vibes or Halloween, which is my favorite holiday, and I have here 10 books that are perfect for this amazing time. The book number one that I want to recommend and is 5 stars. It is The Maid. The Maid from Nita Prose. This book, it is just amazing, and we are following this woman who really loves her job. Like, she's a maid in this huge hotel, and she's so perfectionist. She's like, everything has to be perfect, and if she doesn't do something, like, I don't know, she forgets to do something, then she gets really, like, affected by that. And one day, one of her VIPs, well, not her, but one of the VIPs of the hotel where she works gets killed. And it gets crazy because she was the last person who see this man, and oh my god, like, entire book you are like, what? It's just an incredible thriller. It's so fast paced. I couldn't stop reading this book, and something that I really like it was like she was very innocent, and sometimes I was like, is this a trick? Like, she's too innocent to don't know what's going on around her. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's this guy who killed her, or maybe it's the wife. It's just amazing. If you love those like twist plots, like psychological thrillers, please give it a try. The Maid is like 5 stars. Recommendation is also 5 stars. It's not a new book, but it was really trendy, and I picked it up, I read it, and I was like, oh my god, I got obsessed with this author for so long, and of course with this story. And I am talking about The Maidens from Alex Michaelides. This one is for the lovers of dark academia. If you love those secret societies that happen in campuses, this is a book for you. And we are following the murder of this girl who is the best friend of, like, basically the protagonist. That she is really affected. She called her aunt, and her aunt comes to this school to try to comfort her niece. But in that process, she starts finding out a lot of weird things about this professor, that everybody loves him. And he is extremely weird and pretty arrogant. And it seems like, like he is running this weird secret society behind his classes. So it is amazing. And I was like, this is the killer. As I said before, if you love dark academia, plot twist, thriller, this is an incredible book for you because it's so fast paced and you're not going to be able to stop reading this book. My next recommendation is a book that I recently read this year. And it's pretty dark. And actually, the name is The Colors of the Dark, from Chris Whitaker. This book is everything. Like, has a thriller, love, betrayal, emotions, murder, disappearance. It's just everything. I was just like, it was too much for me, and it was just amazing. I could not stop reading this book. Like, I can't put this down. I read, like, I think in like 2 3 days, and we are following this kid that he nickname is Patch because he has a patch because he doesn't have an eye, and he is in love with this girl that she's super popular, a blonde girl. And one day, this blonde girl was about to get kidnapped from someone, and Patch goes and rescue her. But when he was gonna about to rescue her, then Patch gets kidnapped, and he spends some time in this situation, and where he meets Grace. And Grace is another girl who is captive from this crazy person, and they became pretty close, and they developed this connection. So somehow Patch escapes from this crazy person, and now he's trying to come back from Grace. But we don't know if Grace is real or not. Like, in some point, I was like, is this Grace real? And it's all the journey from Patch. He became not very good person, but at the same time we justify. It's just those books that are so dark, and somehow you start justifying the person who you should not justify, and like, you don't know if this person exists or no. It's like a lot of twists as well. It's good. We also talk a lot about abuse, a relationship. It talks a lot about friendship, love, when you love someone, but that person do not love you back. It's just a lot. I really recommend this book for fall. It's not horror, but it's thriller, and it's kind of like at the beginning of horror. Let's say like horror AA. Like it's really weird, and I really like it. I really do like it. This book got me a hangover for like 2 or 3 weeks, to be really honest. 5 stars. Next recommendations is gonna be 3 books from the same author. Because how I'm not going to talk about the king of the kings of horror if I'm doing a horror video, and I'm talking about Stephen King, and I'm gonna recommend Misery. This is my first book that I read from Stephen King. My first book, and I got traumatized until the day of today. Until the day of today, it's really hard for me to really talk about this book because all the insanity is here. Everything that you're trying to avoid in your life is here. Every word is here that you were like, oh, it's here. And we are follow. I think what is making me really, I don't know, trauma, I guess, is following a crazy woman. Like usually it's a crazy man, but it's a crazy woman who is completely a psychopath. And she's a fan of this writer who somehow she rescued him and kidnapped him, and now he is trying to force him to continue writing her favorite novel that he ended. But now she's obsessed with this novel, and she's like, "You are going to continue writing this novel. You understand?" So he gets so much stress because this woman is crazy and he is basically destroying him, controlling him in everything, physically, emotionally, uh, mentally, everything. The fear that he has from her is exactly fear that I have from this book. Like I don't think I would ever able to read this book again. To be truly honest, yeah, I don't think so. It's 5 stars, actually 7 stars. It's 10 stars, but I won't be able to read this book, and I'm 43. Another great story from The King of the Kings, which is like more easy, but it's still really good story from Stephen King. It is Billy Summers. I read this book a couple months ago. Um, Let me put this a little bit better because you can lay a little bit down. Ooh. Anyway, it's very hard for me to talk about this book right now in these moments where we are living as a society because it talks about a shooter who kill who is gonna do his last shot. Like he's an expert and he's like, you know what, this is my last job and after this I'm done. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna be happy ever after. And he is gonna kill this guy from a huge building, which is oof, what happens right now in all the situation in Utah. So it gives me like weird vibes. Like I don't know, weird vibes. Talk about that, but anyway. And what can go wrong, right? Like what can go wrong in your last shot? Well, everything goes wrong. Like everything goes wrong for Bill Summers in this last shot, and we are following his journey, and it's just incredible. I really like this book a lot. It's more like thriller and it's more like suspense. I won't say this is really horror, but it's really good and it's 5 stars. Another great book from Stephen King. I think this is kind of like yeah, I think it's one of my favorites because it's fantasy and it's horror fantasy. I never heard that term. Like I feel like it's like dark fantasy, right? Or dark romance, epic fantasy, but like horror fantasy. There you go. Stephen King, fairy tale. And this book is pretty sweet sour and it's great for these Halloween theme monsters, but in a different way. I think Stephen King left his comfort zone when he wrote this book because we are following this guy who basically he's trying to make the life of the dog reverse because the dog is really old, and in order to do that he has to go to this underworld that is located in the house that he that's someone who left him. We're gonna know why and everything here, but basically that's what it has to do because he became so close to the dog. This huge connection that we do with our animals, with our pets, and he doesn't want this dog die. And in order to do that, he has to go to this world and put the dog in a specific way to reverse the age. And in that situation, he encounters these weird characters that are very weird in a very horror way. Like this monster who they cannot talk because it's completely gone his mouth. So he's like, what am I reading? Like, and all of the king is so mean. So it's like a world of monsters, fantasy monsters. I really like this book, and I really enjoy the end. I think the end. I was really worried when I was approaching the end because I was like, this is gonna end so bad. This is gonna end so bad. But it actually no, it actually didn't end bad. It did really good in my opinion. I really like it. I enjoy it. When I finished the book, I was like, you know, it's perfect for Halloween. It's perfect if you like Tim Burton, if you like Wednesday Addams, if you like Neil Gaiman, all those like monsters, but in an adult. Obviously, this is not for kids, but I really like it. I really, really like it. I don't know where that was going with this camera. Anyway, this one, guys. This book, I don't think it's really popular, but I pick it up because one of the girls on YouTube that I follow and I really like her recommendations, loving it, and she got traumatized. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just pick it up. And it's called Sundial. Sundial for Katrina Ward, and basically it's this girl who collects bones from people and animals who are dead. And her mom is like, what are you doing? Like, why are you collecting this? And it's like this weird vibe for her and everything that happens here. It's pretty weird, it's pretty scary, and yeah. So I don't want to say much about this book. I don't want to spoil anything, and I feel like if I talk about this book more, it's gonna be spoiled somehow. So I just want to let you know that this is about this girl who collects bones. Recommendation is a thriller. It's a thriller and it's really popular as well. I really like it. I really did like it. And I'm talking about The God of the Woods from Liz Moore. Yeah, like we are following those kids that are in a camp, in this camp, and one of them disappeared not a long time ago, and it's a girl, and her brother disappeared way longer. So this book is go back and forth between what happened long, long time ago and what is happening now, while the investigator is trying to resolve the problem. I mean, the situation, right? Where is this girl? What is behind this camp? The family, the rich family, all this toxic dynamic family. It's a lot. Like it is a lot. I really enjoy this book. I was like, wow, the end, 4.5, but it's very good for this type of year when it's starting Halloween, but it's not still Halloween. If you like all those disappearance, witchy vibes, investigator thing, I really recommend this book because it's really, really good. Recommendation is one that I really like enjoyed because I read this book. I feel like I've read this book like in one day, like in one scene, because it's based on dialogues all the time. So it's not like, you know, you read. It's like literally the entire book is just dialogues. And I am talking about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and it's actually a series right now. This book is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. If you love crimes and you love investigations and you really want to find, I used to love these games when you like find who killed this person, and now because it makes me think a lot about all the clues. Well, this is the one, and we are following Pita, and Pita is doing this school project where she, sorry, is taking again this close investigation about a girl who died, and apparently this girl was killed by her boyfriend, obviously, right? But she was like, something is not adding here, right? Pretty often, like, it's kind of like plus one is three, how, right? But it's close already. So she decided to open it and go deeper and starting to interview the brother of the boyfriend, and he obviously is traumatized because everybody hates him, but somehow she's like, okay, this is not matching, something is going on here, and she's going like deeper and deeper. Oh, and we're finding out all the secrets that this girl was not a really good girl. And the murder, I'm not gonna say more, and the killer, I'm not gonna say more. Take this book if you love investigations, if you love twist plots. recommendation that I want to say is also another very popular book um, that is very traumatizing me as well in thriller. I feel like more than horror, like very bloody scenes, it's more like a psychological thing, especially when it's like between families and when a girl is really mental health. That's what we're dealing, and that's what is categorized in a horror, right? That's crazy, right? How all the horrors are like mentally sick, but when we see them in life and real life, it's different. Anyway, the push, the push from Ashley Arian. This book, it's a it's the most toxic relationship that you can see between mother and daughter. Is this love hate? Like like this girl is demoniac. Like, well, in some point I was like, is the mom crazy? Is the mom okay? Is what's going on? Like, is this little girl that insane? Like, it can be the evil on her brain? Is what is this book about? Because she started like building this hate for her mom and his jealousy, for her little brother. Girl wanna kill all this, right? So this is the book about. This is a book about, and I really recommend this book. And yeah, traumatizing. It's great for Halloween if you love those kind of books.